Comic Haul for April 2020. Hey everyone, it's VM Campos, comic book fan. Welcome to another comic book haul. It's the end of April and I've got some comics to show. Unfortunately, I didn't really get too many comics this month. We seem to be in some sort of global pandemic that is disrupting the supply chain of comic books or something. I don't know, I never go outside of the house, so I don't know what's going on. So I don't really have any new comics to show you except for this, the Rick and Morty #1. Yep, I've got a copy of Rick and Morty #1. No, this is not the one that's worth $100. This is a later printing of the comic book, actually. So let's see if I can show it properly on the camera. Here we have, okay, it's the Rick and Morty #1 cover, but then you go like this, and whoa, there's Mr. Poopy Butthole right there. He's part of the scene. Remember him? He's been there all along. So this is the, I believe, 7th printing lenticular cover. So it does actually show up pretty well on camera, actually. Now you've got to see it in real life. It's amazing in real life. But there's a version of it from one angle where it's the normal #1 cover, first printing, and then there's a version over here where it's the, I believe, 5th printing, or was it 4th? I think it was the 4th printing with PB in it. And then there was a 5th printing, and then like a Hot Topic printing, and a New Comic Book Day printing, and there was the 50th issue anniversary printing. I think that was the 6th printing, and I think this is the 7th printing. I'm glad I got it because this is starting to rise in price, and if I had only bought it like a few months ago, I would have paid half for it, so I had to kind of pay double what I really wanted to pay. But I've got my complete collection now. I've got every single printing of Rick and Morty comics #1. Yes, first printing as well, but no, not the Justin Roiland one. But I'm happy getting this one here, and you really have to see it in real life. It's really cool, very vibrant. You can see from some angles they like drew extra parts of the original comic so that it does look like things are actually moving a little bit here and there. They do seem three-dimensional enough. So very cool. Right here, this is one of the items I got this month for the April haul. And then I have here Amazing Spider-Man #312. Okay, a little backstory. No, I didn't buy this recently. This is one of my vintage comics from back in the day, so the rest of the things I'm going to show in the video are just reminiscing about these early Spider-Man comics. The Rick and Morty comic is the only one I got in April, so it's a very light haul, so I thought, well, let's still have a haul episode, but let's talk about some vintage comics. Okay, so this is the Green Goblin versus the Hobgoblin. Now this is back when Todd McFarlane was actually on Spider-Man, and it was coming out like twice a week or something. Man, I love this. I love this cover. Fun fact, actually, I had it back in the beginning when it came out for $1. And then I sold it a few years later for $1 because I didn't understand the value that comics would change. And so for like 20 years, I didn't have a copy anymore until I bought one off of eBay. More than one, actually. And I've got it again. So it's the newsstand edition. It's Spider-Man in the background there. Green Goblin versus Hobgoblin. Not an illusion. It finally happens. And the non-mutant superhero at the same time, also Inferno Attacks was happening. Not Inferno Attacks. That was Atlantis Attacks. Inferno storyline was going on. We got a little bit of fire in the Marvel art box. But yep, $1 way back in 1988. Issue 312, published in February. Barcode version, newsstand version, and that's a blast from the past. #311, this is a beautiful Mysterio-focused cover, beautiful green tones, purple tones. The Return of the Man Called Mysterio is what the subtitle says, and it's still part of the Inferno storyline. Again, $1. This is the direct edition comic shop version. Todd McFarlane was drawing like spider web numbers in the UPC box, and this goes to show that it is a direct edition comic shop version. So back then in '88, I was either getting comics from the local 7-Eleven, the newsstands, or going to Omni Comics in Imperial Beach, rest in peace. They've been gone for a long, long time. Now what McFarlane was also doing The cover, he's got his signature McFarlane 4. And what that's supposed to mean is that he drew 4 spiders somewhere in the art. So I count 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 in that corner. Oh, there's the 4th one. Yep, so there's 4 spiders, kind of like the Al Hirschfeld caricatures of people that he would sign his daughter's name, I think, Nina, in the artwork. McFarlane was doing this with spiders. So it's a really cool cover here. Mysterio versus Spider-Man. He returns to the storyline at that point. So ASM 311. Then that means we go down to 310. This is where it says now on sale monthly. So they vacillated between twice a week, monthly, bi-monthly, I don't know, back in the day. And so, again, it's another McFarlane issue. At last, Peter Parker goes back to college. So, Peter Parker, high school student, he went to college, Empire State University. And then he quit college to work in the real world. And I think that gave Aunt May her 7th heart attack. And so here he's returning to college. I forget this guy's name in the corner. Just some mean old guy in the corner, drawn really well. And then the other subtitle, but first Spidey must confront Shrike Force. So some hooded figure. Not sure if this is the first appearance of this character or what. But yeah, pretty cool cover as usual. The classic red and blue Spider-Man costume versus this guy in all black with a lot of blonde hair. On sale monthly. 309. Now this is on sale twice a month, so they were really working old McFarlane to the bone. To save his wife, Spider-Man must get through Sticks and Stone. I believe this is the first appearance of Sticks and Stone. And the plot line here is that Mary Jane is kidnapped. She had recently-ish gotten married with Peter Parker, and then she got kidnapped by Caesar or something. I remember it really kind of traumatized me that the plot of that going on, that she was kidnapped and she was living in the same building as Peter Parker, where they were both living in, and he was like the rich guy that no one could say no to, and he hired Sticks and Stone to take out Spider-Man. So which is which? Let's see. Stone is the one with all the big guns, and Sticks is the one with a death touch that touches you and basically you wither to death. So this one happens to be the newsstand edition. Now this does say 14 there, which is very odd because that's usually the month. But again, this was being published more than twice a month, so this is month 14, kind of. And I love the beautiful purple tones that Mary Jane is in. Sticks and Stone are in like yellow and orange tones, and Spider-Man is in regular colors. 308. Now also, if you notice, the on sale twice a month, it says early November, and this one has not the barcode but the direct edition webs. So this is the Who Kidnapped Mary Jane. It again continues that storyline. This is Taskmaster, famously misspelled. Cover, kidnapped is misspelled, so the editor missed that. Spider-Man looming over Taskmaster, really tormenting him. Where is my wife? In a graveyard. So I always loved this cover. The moon looms large. Very cool, very nice angle. I never really thought that the villain was feeling like in much danger or anything. He kind of looks like he's smiling at him, like, yeah, do your worst, Spider-Man. And Spider-Man's like, I'm gonna beat your ass right now. 307. From Chicago comes the Chameleon. So this is an amazing cover. This is the Chameleon in the Spider-Man costume, and with the McFarlane like twisting fingers and all of that he was famous for. I love this close-up cover. It's like very direct, just a black background, nothing there except the darkness. Chameleon in his like purple clothing, dressed as Spider-Man. With the corner box, the UPC box is another direct edition indicator there, and this was from late October 88. 306. This should look familiar to all comic book aficionados. This is a cover swipe of Action Comics #1, the first appearance of Superman. Here we have Spider-Man wrecking a car, a police car, with bystanders running around. This is the newsstand edition. It's got the barcode, so month 11 right there, early October, not on sale, twice a month. Humbug's back, and there's a crisis on campus. So this is before, since I'm going backwards, this is before Peter went back to college, but he's visiting his old alma mater that he dropped out of. That was a big storyline several years ago, college dropout and so forth. And then the cover is a swipe again of Action Comics #1, that famous Superman cover. 305, one of my favorite ones from this time. We've got the Prowler, very Spawn-esque posing, cutting Spider-Man's web with a great swipe with action. 305 is in webs in the corner box, so this is direct edition, the comic shop version. I love the contrasting green and purples there, and Spider-Man in a very nice pose. Now, I don't know if my particular edition of this has a problem, or they all were like this, but at the very top, it's really cropped at the top. It's really cutting that the Marvel box on the top left corner. All of these other ones, they have plenty of headroom at the top, but I don't know, share yours. Is yours all cropped up massively like that at the top, or is it just mine? I think I have a valuable miscut. 304. So here we have After the Fox. So what's his name? I guess just the Fox, Silver Fox, whatever his name is. He returns to the Spider-Man story after being gone for a while. I think he was way back in like 265 or so, and he comes back here in 304. I started collecting Spider-Man, or my first Spider-Man was from 266. And then I started again with 293, I believe. So I had just missed the first appearance of Silver Sable, but here is the Fox. And another corner box is the webs, the number of the webs, number 304. So it's a direct edition comic book version. I love the perspective here. Spider-Man is above the Fox. I believe this is a one-shot story. And the posing is just really cool. Just, McFarlane really doing this arachnid over-the-top posing at that time that everyone loved. 303. This is Silver Sable, speaking of Silver Sable, and the Sandman. This is subtitled On the Waterfront. And this is the newsstand edition. It says 08 right here. So during some of the months, they doubled the issues being released, and this is before that doubling. That's why we saw on the first issues that I showed it sale, now on sale every month, because then it eventually became now on sale twice a month. We get your dollar twice a month. By this time, Spider-Man comics had become $1. When I first started reading them, I remember they were 75 cents. And when they went to $1, I was like, wow, your money doesn't go as far as it used to. But then we've got here, so Silver Sable and the Sandman and a bunch of shenanigans happening on the waterfront. 302, no Spidey! Chaos in Kansas. So at this time, Peter Parker was traveling the country promoting his book of photography that focused on Spider-Man. Somehow Peter Parker was always able to get the best shots and photograph Spider-Man perfectly. So he compiled a book and then sold it across the country, and that really helped his income. So anyway, he's in canvas here. No one will stop me from having my revenge. No one! So I don't remember the story about this one, but he's traveling through Kansas, and someone wants revenge on Spider-Man, and the corner box shows before McFarlane started to draw the webbed up numbers, they had the classic Spider-Man head here that they've had since the early 80s to show that this was a direct edition comic shop version. So Spider-Man's getting totally blasted by the bad guy, Chaos in Kansas happening, and the background's all shattered and such. I love it. Although it really traumatized me and made me think that Spider-Man might really be hurt. Next up, we've got 301. So famous inversed version, so to speak, of number 300. This is 301. We have a return to the classic red, white, and blue Spider-Man costume. He had been in the black costume for a while, and Venom was recently introduced, and so he went back to the classic after Venom terrorized Mary Jane. And so, yep, number 301, this is the newsstand edition. This is a 06 in the barcode. It's just really cool to see the contrasted version of the black costume versus the classic costume, white background versus the red and black background from before, and in this issue, Silver Sable is back. So Todd McFarlane would start a legendary run right around these issues. So that's it there, Amazing Spider-Man number 301. Actually, I wouldn't leave you hanging, would I? Here's my amazing copy of Amazing Spider-Man number 300, my original Amazing Spider-Man number 300. Truth be told, not in the most amazing condition. Maybe it looks okay on the camera, but I'd say it's, I don't know, like a 5.0 or something. Maybe we'll get a few close-ups here and there. You can help me CGC grade this. So let's see all of the imperfections. Yep, the cover's kind of like, rolled spine. All that's gotten flatter over the years. Unfortunately, I maybe stacked a few comics onto it here and there, and there's a few gouges, which I'm sure with a nice pressing will remove. The white paper isn't as white as it could be. Oops, there's a stain on the top left corner. Ooh, the top left corner looks pretty bad. A lot of those nicks over there, but the comic is complete, and I believe actually I did get it signed by Jim Salicrup at a Comic-Con like 96 or something. So there's an unverified CGC signed cover of Amazing Spider-Man number 300, my original one from back in the day. This is the direct edition comic shop version of it. I'm 99% sure I got it at Omni Comics in Imperial Beach. And so I still have my copy, one of my most important comics in my collection. Not the most valuable, although it was one of the most valuable for a very long time. And it's just amazing nostalgia right there, especially when you put them side by side. 300 plus 301. Wow, look at that amazing diptych right there. I love that, those two contrasts. Now with my IRS stimulus check, don't tell the government, but I'll probably get like a better copy of that ASM number 300, maybe the 301 as well, just to have some mint copies, because after all, I need the direct edition version of 301, and I need the newsstand version of 300, so I might as well spend that sweet 1200 that I'm getting from Uncle Sam to get some amazing copies of those classic comics from my childhood. And so there you go. That's my comic haul for this month. I didn't really get anything. I was, stuck at home like all of us, and there wasn't any new comics being published by Diamond. Thanks. So I just wanted to share some classic Spider-Man comics of my youth that are still in my collection, that are still very important to me, that throughout my moves throughout the years, I've still always had them. They're always still been a part of me. What about yourself? Tell me all about your early comics. Share your first comics, whether you started recently or been an old timer like me or an older timer like I know a lot of you are out there. Props! If you liked the video, don't forget to like, to subscribe, to share it. Maybe head on over to my Patreon, patreon.com/vmcampos. I have exclusive stuff there for $1. Such as the comic books you must get for the final order cutoff date once that stuff returns. For $1, you'll get access to that exclusive stuff. At the $2 range, I'll actually mail you a comic book in appreciation from my collection. No, none of these beauties, though. Or simply follow for free on the Patreon. You'll get alerted to everything that I do regarding comic book podcasts, comic haul videos, San Diego Comic-Con stuff, cosplay, Magic the Gathering, all that cool stuff. In any event, don't forget to like, subscribe, share this video. I really appreciate it. Tell me what you thought about it. This has been the weekly VM Campos Comic Book Club, and I'll see you next week.